Welcome back
Hello
to
the
Convert Chef's Hat Pod Cook.
with your hosts
I want a sandwich.
and
Ben.
cool.
Those are a lot harder for some reason.
Yeah.
The name ones. Ben, what are your hopes and dreams for this episode?
We make it through alive.
Wow.
That we all have a lovely time.
Barrier for success is very low. I like
That
it.
I don't touch the recorder and erase 40 minutes of
Gold.
gold like I did last time.
I mean, I've got to say, so far so good. This recorder's doing quite well.
Oh, now I'm going to burn it. Now I'm going to set it on fire. It's just going to happen.
Yeah, we can have a total of... we can have up to 4 guests. No, that's not true. We can have up to 4 people.
So we can have 2.
2 guests.
That's a 100% guest increase.
But what's great is it's got these room mics as well.
So we could have a room full of guests. Yeah, you just did that, and they
recorder,
didn't like it.
The recorder went,
no.
get out of there. Yeah, we've got these room mics, so, like, I don't really know what to do with them. I think, like, if one of us actually screams, we now have, like... we can like cut to like the room mics or something. So if it sounds like there's a drum kit in here for a minute, it's because we cut to the room mics.
It's because we're screaming.
Yes. I think they're a nice touch. Haven't used them yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a nice little recorder. It's got like compressors and stuff built into it, which is quite cool.
What does that mean?
It means...
Makes it smaller? Oh, I've been compressed.
Kind of. It just like means I can get a slightly smoother level straight out of the recorder. So compression is one of the many audio processes that happen to the podcast before it gets published. And if I can take out 1 or 2 of those processes with compressing and limiting and noise reduction and rolling off anything, say, below 50 hertz, then that means I don't have to do it inside of Cubase.
Cubase.
Yes, that's how they want you to say it.
Oh. Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why do they want you to say it like that?
I don't know, they're German. They can have whatever they want.
Not whatever they want.
They can have up to a maximum of half the things they want.
Okay.
No more Reichs. No more Reichs, Germany.
2 wrongs.
Don't make a
Don't
right.
make a right.
No, I think there was bloody more than 2 wrongs in there, or at least 3.
Crispy knuckles.
Do you know the minimalist composer Steve Reich? He lived to be 1,000.
I'm stopping this immediately. And
You're stopping this by opening questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no, is it about Reichs?
What typeface do you talk in?
Oh. It's interesting that it's typeface and not font.
You're going to have to... Is that what typeface is?
They mean different things. So a typeface is like a family of fonts, and a font is a very specific one. So do you know what a serif is?
I shot... Yeah, but I didn't shoot the deputy. I shot the
Years
sheriff.
ago, there was a joke I made that was about that. What's Bob Marley's?
Oh God, yes.
What's Bob Marley's favourite font? Sans Sheriff. Yes. How very funny I am, taking the joke that you just made and making it my own.
No, I know what a font is.
You don't know what a serif is?
No.
So Times New Roman.
Yep.
The T for Times New Roman, it's not like a line
Oh,
with
it's
a
got the
longer
little
line.
lines.
It's got like the little
the little Dracula lines.
Those are serifs.
Okay.
Yeah, the little things that make something feel like a fancy font. The sort of accents, the sort of you don't need those to know what the letter is, but they make it look fancy.
Yeah, it's a bit of letter bling.
Bit of class for the boys. Yes, so those are called serifs. A serif font is harder to read if you are, for example, dyslexic or far away?
I was going to say, I do know that...
Or new to the language?
People don't like Comic Sans.
Right.
However, the best font to take, like, university notes or course notes or something is Comic Sans.
It's the most accessible.
Because it's the easiest to read. It's not too harsh on the eye brain.
It's not too angular. It's easy to comprehend. Yeah. So if you, for example, were to take Times New Roman and you could make a sans serif type New Roman, that would be a different font, but they would be the same typeface.
Right.
The typeface is the family. The font is the specific. I think it could even go down to if your Times New Roman is bold, that's a specific font. If it's italicized, that's a specific font.
If it has strike through,
that's a specific. I think so. Yeah. So you can have like different versions of fonts that have serifs or sans serifs. That's like quite a common thing with fonts. So typeface is like a family. So it's interesting that it's typeface because that means you have like a bit of variety within the specific family of fonts that you speak in.
You use the word interesting interestingly.
I think that's interesting that you find my use of interesting. No, I don't. I find it fascinating.
Cool.
Yeah, you got a bit of hair that's going straight up.
Thank you.
Yep.
I have a question about fonts.
Shut up, hair, you nerd.
Liam's impression of my hair.
I have a question.
I have fonts for yeah.
Your hair speaks in Obelix Pro.
All I know is Times New Roman, Comic Sans, and Wingdings. So it's probably somewhere between Comic Sans and Wingdings.
What email do you use?
Quite basic but confusing. Hotmail.co.uk.
Hotmail until I'm such a fucking nerd. Hotmail until a couple months ago was Calibri. Quite nice. Kind of round, but not as round as like Comic Sans. Doesn't have serifs, quite accessible.
In Game of Thrones with the dragons.
Calibri.
Yeah.
It recently changed to Aptos, which is slightly more. I think it's too round.
That was the big lion in the Narnia films.
Okay. You may have logged onto your Hotmail and gone, ugh, last time you tried to write an email.
How would I have gone?
Ugh.
Thank you. No, I normally have that reaction whenever I have to write emails because it's normally complaining about something.
Yes, fair enough. They changed the typeface in Outlook recently to Aptos. Do not like that. I hate change. Really, this relies on you knowing a lot of typefaces, and we don't.
No, I know 3. So I'm going to go with Comic Dings or Wing Sans.
Wing Sans.
Simple but a bit confusing.
Comic Sans. What is it? Sans. Comic Sans Serif?
Maybe.
I think it's weird that you have to specify when it's sans serif and not just assume that it's sans serif by default.
Well, then everything would be comic avec serif.
I'll have a pint of comic avec. Thank you.
Por favor.
Por favor. It means chips. Avec means chips.
Does it?
Does now.
Okay.
I want to do...
Take that, France.
I want to do a font that is just the serifs.
That would be...
impossible to read, but quite funny.
It would look like you'd just coloured in Braille.
It would look like Angular Braille.
Like if you did try to do cartoon Braille, that's probably not far off what you'd be doing.
I reckon.
Well done. Good.
Thank you. So you talk in Comic Sans because it's the only one you know. If I'm ordering food, a nice accessible Arial. If I'm in this podcast, Obelix Pro. There you go. You can search those on your own. Or if it's Christmas, I use Chiller. That's the one that's got like icicles and shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's the creepy one?
Dickhead.
That's the creepy...
I think it's called Creeper.
The creepy Halloween
it's
one.
called Creepy.
It's all dribbly, like Thriller.
I didn't write down the time.
10.
Just call it 2, and this one's 10. Why not? Hang on.
We're very good at this.
I don't even really use these anymore. It's just force of habit. I need it for the titles. This is a question from Dan M.
Hello, Dan M.
I clearly just gave up halfway through writing that word. What's your most worrying known unknown? Now, the whole known knowns and the unknown knowns is from
the president of the place.
George Bush II. I think was it Cozy Powell? No, Cozy Powell was the drummer in Whitesnake.
I don't think they were ever
what's
president.
His name? Powell.
George W. Bush.
No, and his Secretary of State is Powell.
That's not what we're talking about.
No, but I think it was he that said the known unknown things.
No, it wasn't. It was George W. Bush.
See,
because he said it with his face.
I know this.
There are known knowns, things that we know. There are known unknowns, things that we know we don't know. And there are unknown unknowns, things we don't know. And there are unknown knowns, things that we don't know that we know.
This person that we know used to go out with a gaslighting piece of shit cockhead who insisted that it wasn't George Bush that said that, but it was his Secretary of State. And I was like, you sound like authoritatively enough to know, so I'm going to assume you're right. But no, turns out he was a wanker.
I mean, he was a wanker anyway, but I will double check just so I'm not called authoritarian.
Ben broke their house though, so it's fine.
No, I didn't.
His
Broke
bum,
a very small part of the
his
house.
bum was too big.
My bum was too big. Unknown knowns quote. Oh.
Could you also Google Secretary of State for Bush? I want to know his name.
Was it Secretary of Defence Donald Rumsfeld?
Donald Rumsfeld? No.
In 2002.
I was thinking of someone called Powell.
Well, no.
Piss.
Known knowns, there are things we know. There are also known unknowns, that is to say things that we don't know. And there are unknown knowns, the ones we don't know. And if you look through the history books, it's the latter category that tends to be the difficult ones.
I think this might be the speech to which Dan M is referring.
This is the
But it's George Bush, right?
United States Secretary of Defence Ronald Rumsfeld. Rumsfeld.
Did he say it?
Yes.
Okay. So I wasn't being gaslit in that specific.
Question at a US Department of Defence. So I was wrong, but it was in the George W. administration.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Iraq in 2002.
My most worrying known unknowns. Well, we don't really know what the bottom of the sea looks like in some places.
That's very unnerving to me.
Because it's quite local. I can deal with not knowing what is on the edge of space because it's far away and we'll probably never get here. The stuff at the sea is already here.
Yeah, It's already got there. And it's at the bottom, which is the scariest bit.
Yes.
Always scared of the bottom.
I am scared of the bottom. I don't know what to do. So I think the stuff, the fact that we don't really know what's in the water is quite scary. I don't know if that worries me. Not in like a day-to-day.
Yeah, but you're not very close to the sea day to day, are you?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like day-to-day, my most worrying unknown known is like if I eat a crisp, I'm like, is this going to be the crisp that kills me? Because I know it'll be potatoes. It's just hard to know which. So just going about your day with like ambient dread is quite hard.
Well, yeah, I mean, we know that we are going to die, but
Not knowing how.
pretty much up until the moment that it happens, it is an unknown. It's a known unknown.
Yeah, and sometimes during.
We know this will happen.
Yeah.
We don't know how. So the ever, forever.
Evian.
The
spring
ever-present
water.
threat of doom and death and demise.
Ever-present mortality.
Because it's the unknown stuff that's scary.
Yes.
Which is...
Some known things are scary, like goblins.
But we know that those aren't real.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But...
You're welcome. Now you know this. It's not scary.
Nah, I'm scared of dragons.
Also not real.
Prove
I
it.
mean, Komodo dragons are real.
We haven't been to the bottom of the ocean. We don't know it's not full of goblins.
But we do know that it wouldn't be filled with dragons, or at least not big
How do you know
scary
that?
dragons, because of how pressure works and how life works.
Have we been there?
Robots have.
Robots have.
The biggest thing would be the colossal squid.
Uh-oh.
Not really a dragon, it's a squid.
Wet squid?
That's the biggest. Yeah, a wet squid, not a dry squid.
Sorry, a wet dragon?
A wet dragon, a sea dragon.
Squid?
How?
Just words. It's all just words.
It
Really.
is all just words, but we do need them to have some sort of meaning, Liam.
Meaning?
I'm sorry,
Ah.
it's just got to be the thing.
It's just got to be the thing.
Like, I agree, we should say anything and it could mean anything, but then that's...
Festoon.
Festoon? What do you mean by that? See, that's the thing. That's why words have meaning. That's why words are important, and the meaning of words are important. Because otherwise, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I think festoon, by which I mean the biscuity bit on the side of a Muller corner. That's what I mean by festoon.
Right. What if it's a strawberry Muller corner?
Well, I wouldn't be a strawberry because I'm talking about the biscuit one. Clearly, that's why I use the word biscuit.
What's the strawberry one? Is
not
that not
the-
a festoon?
No, that's just strawberry. By festoon, I specifically mean biscuits.
So why the fuck are you talking about yogurty biscuits when we were discussing
No,
deep sea
Ben,
dragons?
that's the thing, you see. They're not yet yogurty. Wow. That's great. If only I could cut one of my toes off and forget that just happened. Dragons. What's your most worrying unknown no? What's your most worrying Winona Ryder?
The most worrying Winona Ryder is when
I
she
think
was
it's-
at that award ceremony and she seemed to be a little bit out of it.
She was having
I
a
was
great
worried
day.
about her then.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure she was okay.
She's fine, she's thriving.
Probably the level of... Right, so... conspiracy theories.
Oh, lovely. Here we go.
Far too far.
Nom nom nom. Farty fart.
Probably... Yes, farty fart. Probably not as... Like, we went to the moon. We did.
Sure.
Someone's got a vial of smallpox somewhere.
Fess up, guys.
Someone has. There's so much stuff that's happened. There's a lot of records of it, and there's examples of it kept in little jars and
Little
stuff.
jars.
There's a place in one of the poles that have got like seeds from every fucking plant,
Yes.
DNA samples from everything. Basically, arcs.
Yes.
Which are big, fancier, more sciencey museums, and museums have got millions of examples of things that live. So someone somewhere has got a little vial of the Black Plague.
Fun.
There are experiments going on that we don't know about. At what point does that stop being reality and become fantasy? And how far along that terrifying line is it?
I would go ahead and say that of all the experiments currently happening in the world, I know about none of them.
Not any of them.
Not a single one. What do you mean, how far along between now and fantasy?
So,
Do you mean like the scary shit that's in horror movies?
okay, so here's point zero,
Lovely.
and that is governments are researching how to put solar panels on the tops of cars to save electric car charging times.
Fine. Okay.
That's something that we
Normal,
can
believable
be
shit.
pretty sure someone's thinking about
Yeah.
doing and some money's going into. Then over here is, say, 10.
Okay.
There is a vial of Black Death somewhere.
Right, so it's still believable, but scary.
It's pretty believable, but
Yeah, and also
but how we could Google it and try and find out proof.
But the fact-
a lot of people could say no, but
So yeah, it's totally believable. If it does exist, it could only surely be for nefarious purposes, and that's worrying. But totally believable,
and then
given that we know how many records are kept.
and then let's say that over here at 20,
Yeah.
there are people trying to put that Black Plague with the common cold.
Okay, right.
That is more fantastical.
Yes.
Because the common cold is a number of various infections and diseases and stuff like that all have very similar symptoms. But like now over at 20, people are fiddling with the Black Death.
Right. Okay.
And then is that happening? Is it at that level that it stops, or do we go over to 50, to 100? Are people putting nuclear bombs underground along tectonic plates so they could blow up everything?
Or are they just doing it to see what happens? Or with the Black Death example, you could say, well, you got to fuck with it a little bit to know how to cure it. But fucking with it, unfortunately, involves putting it in a lot of monkeys.
At what point does morality actually
Yes. Okay.
come into play, and how far are people pushing things, and how much money do they have to push that stuff?
Yes. Okay.
That's probably something that worries me.
Can I tell you the conspiracy theory that I think is the most likely to be true, because it's the anti-conspiracy theory?
Go on.
The idea, which I have just come up with just now and I'm rather fond of, a traditional conspiracy theory is along the lines of government institutions are secretly doing nefarious shit to make money to stay in power indefinitely. So, and it's all secret and it's all nefarious and it's all dodgy and it all involves Atlantis and the Nazis for some reason. The conspiracy theory that I've just come up with is at the top levels of government, no one is doing anything. Anything.
Anything at all?
Not tying their shoes, not using the bar, just doing nothing. Shall we go to work today, darling, and try to stay in power for longer? No, actually, let's watch Channel 4.
Is this like the Mr. Burns level of rich, where he doesn't have anyone make his bed, he just goes into a furnace and a new freshly made bed is put in its place?
No, it's just like, it's not even incompetence, it's just pure laziness, and it's like, should we do something about COVID? Nah. Should we tell someone about COVID? Nah.
I mean, bits of that have happened, and there will always. There you go. That's a good example. There is always a line of where people aren't like, no, we don't need to say anything yet.
Yeah.
And then there's a line. How long is the gap between finding out about it and then everyone being told?
How
many other things? Because like Ebola has happened and monkey flu has happened, and that was all big in the news.
How many world-ending meteorites come kind of close to hitting us?
Yeah.
Because we only hear about the ones that are like, hey, if you're in Kansas, you might feel something at 4:00. Those are the only ones we hear about. Would they tell us if the world was about to get completely eradicated because of a meteor?
I don't think so.
What would be the point?
There wouldn't be one.
You'd probably, at the highest levels of government, not do anything.
I mean, you'd probably go for a fucking big party.
Yes.
But not tell Jerry Normalman.
Jerry Normal, no, he's a buzzkill.
Yeah.
No.
Don't want him at the party.
I'm going to bring Ricky Cocaine, because he gives the best blowjobs. The old switcheroo!
Very good.
He's great because he can't feel his gums. That's why he's so proficient.
I like that.
Well,
Because blow.
Oh! no!
Yeah, okay. Liam didn't realise the good joke that he made.
Yep. No, I was just doing the old switcheroo.
Yeah, but you inevitably did a funny. Yeah, I think that there is...
That's my known unknown. I had no idea that was a joke.
That is scary. I think that the not knowing, but then we'd never know. I don't think we'd find out. It's like you need to be president to find out if there were aliens.
There was some more soft disclosure recently, but don't worry, I got the lotion. The old switcheroo.
You took the little pill. It's hard.
Stiffy.
Go on, what was the soft disclosure?
There was more soft disclosure. That was... Fuck, what was it?
Because, there was a while back when they were like, oh, yeah, we found non-human pilots or something in these things. And then no one talked about it.
There was something recently that was to the effect of someone came out, oh God, this would be a great podcast if there was like any concrete evidence or any actual facts that I said. But no, it's, I think I heard something about someone who reckoned something along the lines of. The gist of it was they said they were in the know about aliens. They were recently, up until recently, they were in like the upper echelons of like the CIA or the FBI or some shit. And the gist of it is, I wouldn't even be able to explain to you what I know about aliens because it's so far beyond our comprehension. I could say it in words, but you just wouldn't get it.
Like if a lion could speak English, you still wouldn't understand each other. Because it's because the experience is so far apart. The experience is
so different. Which is quite scary as a statement.
I mean, but you could say something.
But he chose not to.
Well, then that's basically saying that there is, but without saying that there is. Just say, yeah, there is, but you wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
Real big, real fourth, fifth, eighth dimension.
You know what we consider Thursday?
It's actually a big monster.
Is that Thursday is actually a big monster?
Or what was I? What was I saying? I think it was. What was I listening to? It was quite profound. It was quite,
it was
quite
intricate.
Show, wasn't it? No, it was Randy Feltface.
Randy Feltface is in Auntie Donna's Big Old House of Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the purple puppet.
He's the purple puppet.
The purple puppet with the plant.
Yeah, I rewatched it.
The purple puppet with the plant and the plus puppy.
Yeah.
And then just a plant.
Yeah. Hey guys, I forgot my plant.
Talking about how there's under your fingernail, there are millions of living organisms. Your body is made up of trillions of microbes, and like 60, like a stupid amount of those microbes aren't human. You're all made of this, so if you imagine that our galaxy is the bit under your fingernail, there's all the rest of that. It's like, we could be, I don't know, some part of a bigger organism that's farting about going, well, I don't think that they had those. I don't know why they sound like this. I don't think that they had aliens. Anyway, podcast. What if we're just like in the fingernail of a bigger...
What if the aliens are a podcast? What you consider a podcast? We'd have no choice but to carry on as before. What?
Yes, all of the worrying known unknowns or unknown knowns or anything that we've tried to answer. Just keep going on, shall we?
Most of the time I'm worried about biting the inside of my cheek again. So like
I did that during this recording.
It sucks, yeah.
Yeah, I pulled a bit of skin off my lip and it hurt.
My most worrying unknown is when I'm next going to stub my toe. Because last time I stubbed my toe, I got blood everywhere.
Or when you shit yourself.
Oh, I haven't shat myself in ages.
You will, my friend.
I know.
Then will come the awful day where that clock resets itself.
Wait there.
No, I don't want this. I'm about to get into a car with you. You're about to come to my house, and I do not want pooey trousers in my house.
What colour's your sofa bed? I hope it's brown.
It's not.
It will be.
It doesn't. No, I don't want that to be a thing
Mom,
that happens.
He made my poo brown.
He made my poo brown. Thanks, Dan. Thank you, Dan M.
Danum.
Separate
Danum.
from the other Dan.
My trousers are Danum.
Danum.
The milk. Man,
Oh, that honey liqueur is quite nice, isn't
man,
it?
today it's a big day for Benny. I had no idea who Fred Dibner was, and now Maggie Smith's dead.
Come on, man.
Just giving away the fact that we back because that was months ago.
You made me forget that there was a. Oh, this meant to be upbeat.
I'm upbeat. Yeah, da, da, da. Well, okay, say something upbeat then. What colour do you think aliens
we've
are?
nearly finished.
I reckon they're green with big eyes.
What, like the greys, except green? Little green men.
I usually call them the greens.
You would call them the greens.
Massive.
Feels a bit racially insensitive.
Massive cocks.
Speciesly insensitive?
They don't have such issues such as race or ism. There is only ZOOL.
Because ZOOL killed
ZOOL,
everyone else. ZOOL's a spooky ghost, not an alien.
Is ZOOL a spooky ghost?
Yeah, it's a demon thing from Ghostbusters.
No. ZOOL.
Yes.
ZOOL.
Yes, there is only
With
ZOOL.
the sweets. And he runs around and he picks them up.
What's happened to you?
There's nothing's happened to me. There is only
There
ZOOL.
is only ZOOL from the Ghostbusters.
No, nothing to do with the Ghostbusters.
What?
He
Where
runs
is ZOOL?
around on the 2D platforms and he picks it. He's got I think he's got green ears and a bandana. He runs around, he's got his little beady eyes, and he picks up the sweets from the candy canes in the game.
Have you had a cheese dream?
Don't mind if I do. That's ZOOL. ZOOL. My phone's over there, so I can't. ZOOL. ZOOL. I'm now starting to doubt it's even pronounced ZOOL. I bet it's spelt with a J.
There is only
ZOOL.
ZUUL.
No.
What did you say? ZOOL?
OOL.
No.
No?
Showing results for there is only ZOOL. I will change it to your thing. Mr. Ronacado. There is no Dana, only ZOOL. That's it. Wait, what is this? 6 years ago, YouTube video.
Becoming aware that ZOOL isn't a...
Is it a game on the N64 from 1999?
Yes.
Right. Interestingly, the name for the title for this YouTube video is "There is no Dana, only ZOOL," which is a quote from Ghostbusters, which came out before this game. It's also not loading properly. So I'll take your word for it that there is a game. There's ZOOL.
I may be combining things in my brain. I think it's a good podcast, no matter what the reviews say. Whoa.
We have reviews.
Oh, yeah.
You should leave us reviews to help.
If you leave us a 5-star review on Podchaser, we'll read it on the show. Just saying, you can leave reviews with other stars. But
Right, this is...
No.
All right, in which case you're wrong.
No, I'm fucking not.
Okay, you are, because the only thing is ZOOL. There is only ZOOL. ZUUL.
No, it's OOL.
No, it isn't, because that doesn't exist, because I've Googled it.
It's real.
It's not.
It's real. Okay, I'll see if I can find it in the show notes. I'll see if I can find it and put
Is
it in
it
the show
this
notes.
thing?
Yes, ZOOL.
Right, you need to Google ZOOL, not there is only ZOOL.
Oh.
There is only ZOOL, is from Ghostbusters.
Is it really?
Yes, there is no Dana, only ZOOL. I am the Keymaster.
I must have heard it and assumed it referred to the game that I played, not the movie I haven't
Gremlin
seen.
graphics published in 1992.
Yes, please.
Ghostbusters, ZOOL, Ghostbusters. $1984, so ZOOL is Ghostbusters.
I don't care.
I'm sure you don't. And I'm very pleased that you are happy enough to not let this weigh on you.
No.
Proud of you, buddy.
Thank you, I think. Ben, where are you on?
It's going to be a right pain in the dick for you to edit that last 5 minutes, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I might have to add chanting.
Okay.
Where are you online, Ben?
Instagram, Spike Pearson, Pierson. You can see how the burn on my hand is doing,
Wow.
probably, if it's not healed by now. I hope it has. I don't want it to become a big blister.
I didn't know it was February. Burns Night.
Liam, do this.
LT guitarist.
Thank you.
For music and stuff. This is the last episode in the batch, so fear not, it won't get weirder than this. Unless Richard Jackson's on the podcast, in which case...
Or on the phone again.
Poopy poopy poo. Where are you? Got some podcasts to do now.
Conversation Hat podcast on pretty much everything else. You'll be able to find
Convo
us.
Hat podcast.
Yeah, just Google it and just
Google
search it and you'll find us.
Learn how the internet
You're already
works.
listening to us. You should know where we are.
You twat.
Rude.
I have two titles to choose from.
You can support us on patreon.com/Conversation Hat podcast. Go, Liam.
Sorry, I have two titles to choose from. This is like... This is a perfect cross-section of a Conversation Hat podcast episode.
Go on.
The first title is No More Reichs. The second title is Farty Farts. It encapsulates just perfectly, more than The Body of Barney, more than Fred Dibner Special, more than Com Ballet or It's Sausage. It's sausage. No more Reichs or Farty Fart. You can add a secret third option if you have
Let's do
one.
No More Reichs, subtitle Farty Fart. Let's see what the algorithm makes of that.
Oh, it's not going to help us get viewers.
No. Neither of those are going to help us get
The
viewers.
show as a whole will not help. 5 stars on Podchaser, will read it on the show. Hooroo.
I'll send you photos.
Of
Yes. Spoilers.
my spoilers.
Your spoiler.
Don't send them my spoilers.
Brum brum. I'm a car.
Car.
Send you a photo of Liam's bottom.
Bottom.